Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into a deeply emotional and dramatic storyline from ABC's hit series, General Hospital. At the center of today's narrative is Sasha Gilmore, whose life takes a devastating yet transformative turn, profoundly impacting both her future and her relationships. Especially with Michael Corinthos. The courtroom is a place typically associated with the cold precision of law, but on this day, it becomes the backdrop of a personal tragedy. Sasha takes the stand, testifying in the emotionally charged custody battle between Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate. The atmosphere is already fraught with tension and high stakes as Michael seeks custody, determined to provide stability for his children. Sasha, eager to support Michael, bravely shares her testimony, but fate intervenes cruelly. As Sasha begins to recount details pertinent to the case, her voice suddenly falters. She loses her footing and stumbles from the witness stand. The courtroom erupts into chaos. Panic grips Michael's heart as he rushes forward, catching Sasha just as she collapses, her face contorted in agony. Jason Morgan swiftly moves alongside Michael, both men immediately recognizing the severity of the situation. Sasha's pain is evident, her hands clutching her abdomen, and the urgency of her condition is unmistakable. They waste no time. Sasha is swiftly rushed to General Hospital, the ride there fraught with anxiety. The memories of her previous miscarriage haunt her, a loss she suffered with Brando, a heartbreak that still shadows her every step. Now, she is once again facing the cruel repetition of history. Michael, filled with fear and guilt, grips Sasha's hand tightly, silently praying that they might be spared further pain. Jason, steadfast and calm despite the tension, coordinates quickly with medical staff upon their arrival. At the hospital, the atmosphere grows increasingly tense as the medical team moves swiftly. The doctors waste no time in conducting thorough examinations, their expressions solemn and cautious. Michael stands anxiously by, a wave of dread washing over him as he observes their hushed, serious conversations. Sasha, pale and trembling, fights to remain strong, but tears well up as painful memories resurface. Eventually, the doctors approach Michael with grim expressions. The news they bear is heartbreaking. Sasha has suffered another miscarriage. The loss is devastating enough, but it comes coupled with even more devastating news. Due to medical complications, Sasha will not be able to conceive again. This revelation strikes Michael deeply, plunging him into a spiral of guilt and despair. He feels directly responsible not only because he was the reason she was pregnant but also because the stress from the custody hearing and everything surrounding it had undoubtedly contributed to this tragic event. Michael confronts the agonizing realization head-on, overwhelmed by his sense of responsibility. Despite the weight of his own grief, he recognizes that Sasha needs support and reassurance now more than ever. Summoning his courage, Michael approaches Sasha, sitting quietly by her bedside, where she lies in profound grief. Tears stream silently down her cheeks, the reality of her new situation overwhelming her entirely. Michael kneels down, grasping Sasha's hand gently. His voice trembles with emotion as he speaks softly yet earnestly, telling her that he loves her deeply and irrevocably. He confesses how deeply sorry he is, expressing genuine regret for everything that has happened. Yet, amid this profound sorrow, Michael does not stop there. He reveals a deeper resolve, a commitment to Sasha that transcends their shared tragedy. With sincerity shining in his eyes, Michael proposes marriage to Sasha right there in the hospital room. He promises to offer her a full, loving, and secure life, acknowledging their loss but determined that it will not define their future. He passionately assures Sasha that their inability to have biological children won't diminish their happiness. Instead, they will adopt, opening their hearts and home to a child who needs their love just as much as they need healing. Michael's heartfelt proposal deeply moves Sasha. Despite the fresh pain of loss, the raw sincerity in Michael's eyes fills her heart with renewed hope. Through her tears, she sees clearly that, despite this devastating setback, she is not alone. Michael is by her side, ready to face the future together. In a fragile yet profound moment, Sasha accepts his proposal, committing herself to a life where love, rather than loss, will guide them forward. From this moment, their bond becomes unbreakable. Michael, determined to honor his promise, dedicates himself fully to ensuring Sasha feels cherished and supported at every turn. His willingness to embrace adoption symbolizes a profound emotional maturity and selflessness, as he vows to create a family based on love rather than blood alone. Over the following days, as Sasha recovers physically and emotionally, the strength of their love grows deeper. The pair begin actively discussing adoption, preparing themselves emotionally and practically for this new chapter. Each day, Michael reassures Sasha, affirming his unwavering commitment and love. Sasha, though still grieving deeply, slowly begins to heal under the gentle warmth of Michael's care and support. She knows Michael's heart, and she sees clearly how genuine and profound his intentions are. The hospital staff, family, and friends witness this emotional transformation, moved deeply by Michael and Sasha's resilience. The pain of loss has not disappeared, nor will it ever entirely fade, but the tragedy has given birth to something extraordinary, a profound, selfless, and enduring love story. As Sasha and Michael begin their new life together preparing for adoption, they find comfort in each other's arms. This decision brings them closer than ever, strengthening their bond and promising happiness rooted in resilience, compassion, and profound empathy. Michael is relentless in his efforts to provide Sasha with emotional stability, ensuring her happiness and security remain his priority. Their journey forward becomes a powerful narrative of hope and redemption, symbolizing the strength that love and compassion can provide even in life's darkest moments. Michael's determination to give Sasha everything she deserves embodies true love, unshakable and pure. Sasha, for her part, learns to find joy again, supported by Michael's unwavering devotion. Their future, though different from what they once imagined, is beautifully enriched by their shared resilience and mutual commitment to embracing life's possibilities. Next, we will delve into the heart-wrenching and dangerous emergence of a potential new mob prince in Port Charles, as Joe Palmieri grapples with a life-altering revelation that has shattered his world. The fallout from the explosive Nurses' Ball of May 2025 continues to reverberate through the town, pulling family ties apart and forging dangerous new bonds. As Joe navigates the betrayal of his past and the seductive pull of power through his newfound grandfather, Sonny Corinthos, the stakes couldn't be higher. Join us as we explore the depths of Joe's rage, the complexities of his relationships, and the ominous path that may lie ahead in this gripping saga of identity, revenge, and legacy in the ever-turbulent world of General Hospital. Joe Palmieri's world shattered at the Nurses' Ball. In a moment that left Port Charles reeling, Joe Palmieri, the gifted young musician, discovered a staggering truth at the May 2025 Nurses' Ball. He is the biological son of Dante Falconeri and Brooklyn Quartermain. The glittering ballroom, filled with laughter and celebration, became the backdrop for Gio's devastating realization, as whispered truths and shocked gasps unraveled his entire existence. Picture Joe standing frozen amidst the elegantly dressed crowd, his violin case slipping from his grasp as the weight of betrayal crashes over him like a relentless wave. His adoptive parents, Francis and Camila Palmieri, who nurtured his love for music, are revealed to have been part of a grand deception, concealing his true lineage. Every foundation of his identity, the uncle who sponsored his musical dreams, now unveiled as his unknowing grandfather, and the cousin he bonded with, actually his mother who relinquished him in her youth, crumbles before his eyes. This bombshell doesn't just rewrite Gio's history, it ignites a firestorm of rage and confusion, leaving him questioning every memory and relationship he once held dear. As the truth sinks in, Gio's heart breaks for the life he thought he knew, setting the stage for a journey into darkness, a symbolic act of destruction and loss. In the raw aftermath of his Nurses' Ball revelation, Gio's emotions surge to a boiling point, culminating in a powerful and symbolic act of destruction as he smashes his beloved violin in a fit of anguish. This isn't merely the shattering of wood and strings, it's the obliteration of his very identity, a poignant rejection of the dreams and future his adoptive parents had crafted for him. Imagine the scene playing out in a quiet corner of the venue, away from the prying eyes of the gala attendees, where Joe, tears streaming down his face, hurls the instrument to the ground, each splinter representing a lie he's lived. That violin, once an extension of his soul, a vessel for his passion for music, now lies in ruins, embodying the collapse of everything he believed about himself. This act marks a turning point for Joe, a farewell to the innocent aspiration of his past and an ominous step toward a future unknown. As the echo of the crash fades, What will fill the void left in Gio's heart? Reconciliation with his true family, or a descent into a world fueled by bitterness and retribution? Sonny Corinthos enters as a dangerous influence. Into this storm of betrayal and loss steps Sonny Corinthos, the mob kingpin of Port Charles and Gio's newly discovered grandfather, offering a lifeline that could either save or destroy the young man. Their pivotal meeting on June 2, 2025, captured a charged moment of connection as Gio, brimming with questions and fury, confronts Sonny about whether he knew of their blood tie all along. Sonny's response, delivered with a mix of gravitas and tenderness: "I didn't know you were my grandson, but I knew you were special," hangs in there like a double-edged sword, capable of mending Gio's wounded spirit or luring him deeper into a shadowy abyss. Envision this encounter unfolding in the dimly lit ambience of Sonny's office at the coffee warehouse, the weight of unspoken histories palpable as Gio searches Sonny's eyes for sincerity. Sonny, a man whose charisma has drawn many young souls into his orbit, sees in Gio raw, untapped potential, a reflection of his own fiery spirit. With historical echoes of Michael and Morgan Corinthos, whose paths under Sonny's influence veered toward redemption and tragedy respectively, this new bond teeters on a knife edge. Will Sonny's words be a balm to Gio's pain, or the first step toward a dangerous legacy? Gio rejects Dante's attempts at reconciliation. Compounding the complexity of Gio's emotional turmoil is his staunch rejection of Dante Falconeri, his biological father, whose attempts at reconciliation fall on deaf ears and a hardened heart. Gio, still reeling from the web of lies surrounding his upbringing, sees Dante's overtures as hollow, the mere fact of biology insufficient to erase years of deception. Picture a tense confrontation outside the Port Charles Police Department, where Dante, clad in his detective's badge, pleads with Gio under the gray skies of a late afternoon, his voice breaking as he tries to explain the painful choices of the past. Gio, however, turns away, his jaw set with cold defiance, and willing to forgive or forget the years he spent oblivious to his true roots. This rebuff leaves Sonny as the dominant male figure in Gio's life, a mentor whose influence is steeped in the lure of power and retribution rather than law or forgiveness. As Dante watches his son slip further from reach, the question looms: can he find a way to bridge the chasm before Sonny's world engulfs Gio completely, or has the damage already been irrevocably done? The Corinthos fire ignites in Gio's soul. As Gio wrestles with his shattered identity, fans and Port Charles residents alike begin to notice an undeniable spark in him, a fierce, unbridled energy that mirrors the infamous Corinthos temperament. The violent outburst at the nurse's ball, where he destroyed his violin, wasn't just a moment of anger, it was a raw display of the same passionate intensity that has defined Sonny Corinthos for decades. Imagine townsfolk whispering at Kelly's diner, exchanging wary glances as they recount Gio's icy demeanor and calculating stare during recent public encounters, traits eerily reminiscent of Sonny in his prime. Social media buzzes with fewer observations, many pointing out Gio's emerging charisma, a dangerous charm that could command respect or instill fear, much like his grandfather. And like Dante, who chose the path of law with his badge, or Michael, who embraced the corporate world, Gio stands as a blank canvas, his rage and lack of ties to conventional morality making him uniquely susceptible to the mob's allure. Could this inherited fire be the catalyst that shapes Gio into Sonny's true heir, or will it consume him before he finds his footing? A blank slate drawn to power and revenge. What sets Gio apart from other Corinthos heirs is a chilling combination of burning desire for revenge and an informed moral compass, making him a volatile force in Port Charles. While Dante and Michael were tethered to structures of justice and business, Gio's slate is unmarked, his pain and betrayal fueling a hunger for something darker. Something more aligned with the world Sonny rules. Envision Gio late at night, standing at the docks, the cold harbor wind whipping around him as he contemplates the power he could seize, the wrongs he could right under Sonny's tutelage. His destruction of the violin symbolized not just the end of his musical dreams, but a potential embrace of a life where loyalty and violence reign supreme, a life that Sonny offers. With every whispered piece of guidance, each visit to Sonny, perhaps over quiet strategy sessions in the back room of Pazzulo's, pulls Gio deeper into a realm he never knew he was destined for. As he seeks answers about family and what it truly means to bear the Corinthos name, the temptation of power grows stronger. Will Gio resist the pull of this intoxicating world, or will he dive headfirst into the darkness, becoming the heir Sonny has long sought? Sunny's choice, salvation or seduction. The unfolding dynamic between Joe and Sunny places the mob boss at a crossroads of profound consequence. Will he steer his grandson toward healing and forgiveness, or mold him into the ruthless successor he's always dreamed of? Sunny, seasoned by years of loss and bloodshed, might look into Gio's anguished eyes and see not just a grandson, but a chance to cement his legacy through a young man untainted by the compromises that shaped his other heirs. Picture Sunny alone in his study after Joe departs, a glass of scotch in hand, wrestling with the ghosts of Morgan's tragic fate and Michael's rejection of the mob life, questioning whether guiding Joe down this path is a gift or a curse. Each piece of advice, each story of family loyalty he shares, draws Joe closer to crossing an irreversible line. The viewers hold their breath, wondering if Sunny will recognize the peril in nurturing Gio's rage, perhaps recalling his own youthful mistakes, and choose to push him toward reconciliation with Dante and Brooklyn. Or will the lure of shaping a true Corinthos heir, one who embraces the darkness without hesitation, prove too tempting to resist? As we conclude this in-depth exploration of Joe Palmieri's transformative journey on ABC General Hospital, Port Charles stands on the brink of witnessing the Rizier fell off a new Corinthos scion. From the shattering revelation at the nurse's ball to the symbolic destruction of his violin, Gio's path is paved with pain and potential. His bond with Sunny Corinthos a dangerous dance between salvation and seduction. With Dante pushed away and the mob's allure growing stronger, the question remains: will Joe forge his own destiny, or become the heir to Sunny's empire of power and peril? Next, we will unravel a tangled web of secrets, loyalties, and betrayals swirling around Nina Reeves as she faces an agonizing moral quandary in Port Charles. With information that could tip the scales in her daughter Willow Corinthos' custody battle, Nina stands at a crossroads that threatens to shatter her deepest friendships and reshape family dynamics. As whispers of paternity scandals and hidden affairs come to light, the stakes for Nina, Sasha Corbin, and everyone connected to them have never been higher. Join us as we dive into the emotional turmoil, explore new dimensions of this dramatic storyline, and ponder the far-reaching consequences of the choices Nina must make in her desperate bid to protect her daughter. Nina Reeves caught between love and betrayal. For years, Nina Reeves has shared an unbreakable bond with Sasha Corbin on the streets of Port Charles, a friendship forged through trials and triumphs. Yet now she finds herself clutching a secret that could tear them apart. Nina's heart races with conflict as she weighs a piece of explosive information that promises to aid her daughter Willow in a bitter custody fight, but at the steep cost of wounding her dearest friend. Picture Nina pacing the elegant yet lonely halls of her crimson office late at night, the glow of her desk lamp casting shadows as she wrestles with a decision that feels like choosing between two pieces of her soul. Her loyalty to Willow, a daughter she's fought so hard to connect with, clashes violently with the sisterly devotion she holds for Sasha, who has been her anchor in stormy times. This dilemma isn't just a test of Nina's ethics, it's a crucible that could redefine her relationships forever, forcing her to confront the true price of family and friendship in a town where secrets rarely stay buried. Will Nina find a path that spares her from losing either bond, or is heartbreak an inevitable outcome of her choice? The shocking paternity revelation Nina uncovers. With a little sleuthing, Nina has stumbled upon a bombshell that could alter the course of multiple lives in Port Charles: the widely accepted belief that Jason Morgan is the father of Sasha's unborn child is a lie, and the true father is none other than Michael Corinthos. This discovery, unearthed perhaps through a late-night conversation with a hospital insider at General Hospital or a stray document glimpsed during a clandestine visit to a friend's office, places Nina in possession of a weapon of immense power. Envision Nina sitting alone at a quiet cafe on the outskirts of town, her coffee growing cold as she stares at a scribbled note confirming Michael's paternity, her mind racing with the implications. This truth, if revealed, could serve as a pivotal piece in Willow's custody battle against Michael, her soon-to-be ex-husband, proving that infidelity wasn't a one-sided affair in their crumbling marriage. Yet, the cost of wielding this secret looms large, as it threatens to fracture the trust Sasha has placed in her over countless shared confidences. Can Nina hold this revelation close to her chest, or will the temptation to use it for Willow's sake overpower her sense of loyalty? Nina's desperate fight for Willow's custody. Nina's fierce maternal instinct drives her to ensure that Willow retains custody of her children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, even as her past decisions in this quest have faltered spectacularly. Her determination burns bright, fueled by a longing to mend the once fractured bond with her daughter, but her methods have often veered into dangerous territory. Recall the ill-fated alliance Nina forged with Carly Spencer and Portia Robinson, a trio united to pry Drew Kane away from Willow and the kids, only to see their plan unravel amidst mistrust and missteps. When that failed, Nina threw in her lot with Willow and Drew, despite the latter's unsettling aura, a choice that now haunts her as a grave error. Imagine Nina reflecting on these misjudgments during a solitary walk along the Port Charles Pier, the chilly wind mirroring the cold dread in her heart as she contemplates her next move. As a final, desperate gambit, Nina considers unveiling Sasha's paternity secret to discredit Michael in court, believing it could tip the scales in Willow's favor. But at what cost will this desperate act come, and will it truly secure the outcome she prays for, or deepen the chaos surrounding her family? Sasha Corbin, the friend who stood by Nina. The potential betrayal of Sasha Corbin weighs heavily on Nina, for there has been no truer ally in Port Charles than the woman she once thought was her daughter. Sasha's unwavering support has been a lifeline through Nina's darkest hours, standing by her when the town turned its back. Even as Willow herself aligned with Carly and barred Nina from seeing her grandchildren. Picture the countless late-night heart-to-hearts at Sasha's cozy apartment, where amidst cups of chamomile tea, Sasha offered comfort and counsel, striving to mend the rift between Nina and Willow with gentle perseverance. Sasha's unique ability to maintain ties with the Corinthos family while championing Nina's cause made her a bridge of hope in times of estrangement. To reveal the truth about Sasha's baby's father would be to sever this sacred trust, an act that might be deemed unforgivable by the friend who has been Nina's rock. As Nina grapples with this choice, the memory of Sasha's kindness looms large. Will it be enough to stay her hand, or will her devotion to Willow blind her to the pain she might inflict? A second secret that could save Willow. Beyond the paternity bombshell, Nina harbors another staggering secret that could potentially liberate Willow from Drew Kane's troubling influence and secure her at least joint custody of her children. Buried in Nina's past is the revelation that she was intimately involved with Drew at the outset of his relationship with Willow, a liaison that, if exposed, could shatter the illusion of trust and stability Drew projects. Envision Nina standing before a mirror in her dimly lit bedroom, her reflection haunted as she rehearses how to confess this betrayal to Willow, knowing it could break the manipulative hold Drew seems to exert over her daughter. This self-sacrifice, laying bare her own indiscretion, might jolt Willow into seeing Drew's true colors, paving the way for a custody arrangement free of his shadow. Yet, the personal cost to Nina exposing her shame and risking Willow's scorn hangs like a storm cloud over this option. Will Nina choose to sacrifice her own dignity to protect Willow, or will she opt to betray Sasha instead, preserving her own secrets at the expense of a cherished friendship? The moral crossroads. Whom will Nina betray? At the heart of Nina's turmoil lies a brutal choice. Will she sacrifice her bond with Sasha by revealing the paternity of her child to aid Willow, or will she turn the blade inward, exposing her own past with Drew to achieve the same end? This moral crossroads casts Nina into a labyrinth of guilt and desperation, each path fraught with loss and potential regret. Imagine her seeking solace in the quiet sanctity of a Port Charles church, kneeling in a pew as she whispers pleas for guidance, torn between two acts of betrayal that could alter her life's course. If she chooses to protect Willow by outing Sasha's secret, the fallout could be catastrophic, severing a friendship that has weathered countless storms and leaving Sasha to face public scrutiny alone. Conversely, confessing her affair with Drew might salvage her bond with Sasha but risk alienating Willow just as they've begun to rebuild their fragile connection. The weight of this decision threatens to crush Nina, as every choice promises pain. Will she emerge with any relationships intact, or will her actions leave her isolated in a town already rife with judgment? The unforgivable cost of betrayal. As Nina teeters on the edge of her decision, the specter of losing Sasha's forgiveness looms as a haunting possibility, a consequence that could echo through the rest of her days in Port Charles. Sasha, who has been a bastion of support through Nina's most trying times, might view this act of betrayal as a wound too deep to heal, especially given the personal nature of the secret at stake. Picture a heart-wrenching confrontation in the park near Spoon Island, Sasha's eyes filled with hurt as she demands to know how Nina could expose something so private, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and disbelief. The bridge Sasha once built between Nina and Willow could collapse under the weight of this betrayal, leaving Nina to face the loneliness of her choices. Even if Willow gains custody through Nina's actions, the victory might taste bitter, overshadowed by the loss of a friend who stood by her when no one else did. Can Sasha ever find it in her heart to forgive Nina if this secret is unveiled, or will this mark the end of one of Port Charles' most enduring friendships? As we close this deep exploration of Nina Reeves' agonizing dilemma on ABC General Hospital, the emotional battlefield of Port Charles remains charged with tension and uncertainty. Nina stands poised to make a choice that could either save her daughter Willow's custody battle or destroy the bonds she holds dearest with Sasha Corbin. With two devastating secrets in her arsenal, only targeting Sasha's privacy and the other exposing her own past, with Drew's path forward is fraught with peril. Tune into General Hospital to witness the fallout of Nina's decision and the ripple effects on every corner of this drama-laden town. Join us again for more spoilers and insights from the heart of Port Charles. What do you think? Will Nina betray Sasha or herself to protect Willow? And can forgiveness ever mend the wounds of such a choice?